We've all seen the movies, but how much do you really know about the animals of the Ice Age? 2.6 million years ago, the Earth entered a new phase in its climate history. This time interval is called the Pleistocene. It was marked by profound climate shifts, rapidly oscillating between bitterly cold glacial phases and more tolerably warm interglacial phases. During these glacial phases, the extreme cold would have been worse at higher latitudes. It would have been much like the snowy tundra we see today, with harsh winds and freezing temperatures. In contrast, down at the tropics and equator, it would have been drier, but really not all that noticeably colder. However, as always, life somehow found a way to survive through the frozen wastelands of the Pleistocene. Take the mammoth, for example. It was evidently able to adapt and thrive in this harsh, cold environment. Its large size undoubtedly played a significant role in this. In particular, this helped mammoths to retain their body heat better. Mammoth feet were larger than their modern-day equivalent, the African elephant. This provided a larger surface area and increased weight distribution, making it easier for the mammoth to walk through the snowy wilderness of the Pleistocene. In essence, it evolved snowshoes. Mammoth ears were also considerably smaller than those of modern elephants to prevent heat loss. Exceptional preservation of mammoths, frozen in the permafrost for thousands of years, have helped shed further light on the amazing evolutionary adaptations these animals made in order to survive in the cold. Mammoths actually had 3 layers of hair to help protect against the cold. This hair was also very long, reaching up to 1 meter in length. It acted as a blanket, protecting the abdomen, sides, and legs of the animal from the cold. It also provided a form of bedding when the animal was lying down in the snow. Unlike modern elephants, mammoths had oil and sweat glands, which greased the hair and prevented it from drying out due to the wind, or from becoming excessively wet from all the sleet and snow. The extensive snow and ice cover also made it harder to find food, and plants were considerably diminished in size, so mammoth tusks adapted to become larger for digging through the snow. The increased weight of these tusks was countered with an increase in skull size. Once the mammoth found food, it now needed to consume it. It used a hook-like extension on the tip of its trunk to grasp food. Due to the cold conditions, plants also became coarser and harder to digest, so mammoth teeth evolved more chewing plates, which acted like graters to break up the food. The well-preserved remains of baby mammoths from the permafrost provide valuable insights into how they developed in life. Baby mammoths grew up faster than their modern-day equivalents because they needed to tolerate cold conditions. Growing faster is also allowed them to accumulate more fat and thicker skin. Another, much smaller animal that adapted to the harsh conditions of Pleistocene glaciations is the alpine marmot. Just like the mammoth, alpine marmot fossils have been invaluable in helping to discover how these animals lived. These relatively large ground-dwelling squirrels were excellent diggers, utilising their claws and thumbnails to dig through compact snow and frozen soil. Pleistocene alpine marmots are very similar to forms living today in the tundra, and it is thought that they likely had very similar lifestyles. Today, alpine marmots live in groups of 15 to 20 individuals in burrows dug into the snow. They spend most of the year, up to 9 months, hibernating in these burrows. This allows them to survive through the coldest and most difficult winter months, with the overlying snow cover providing essential insulation. During the summer months, marmots emerged from hibernation to eat grass, grains, insects, spiders, and worms. They consumed as much food as possible in order to create a layer of fat on their body, enabling them to hibernate through the long winter. The marmot's size undoubtedly aided in its survival, both during the Pleistocene and also into modern times. Because it remained relatively small, it was able to burrow and hibernate to escape from the extreme cold. Marmots reached an average size of 18 centimetres, while mammoths reached a whopping 3 metres in height. Compare this to the average 1.7 metre tall human, and you can begin to appreciate how big mammoths really were. So you may be wondering, what happened to these animals after the Pleistocene? At the end of the Ice Age, as Earth gradually warmed and the ice sheets began to retreat towards the poles, mammoths appear to have struggled to adapt to these new, warmer environments. They became extinct in Eurasia sometime between 12 and 10,000 years ago. It is possible that humans may have played a part in their demise through overhunting, an event known as the Pleistocene megafaunal extinction. It appears that mammoths and marmots took quite different approaches to surviving through the freezing cold of the Pleistocene. Mammoths used their great size to their advantage. They were large herbivorous specialists. By contrast, marmots remained small, burrowed, and could adopt a more general omnivorous diet when needed. Perhaps most importantly of all, the much larger population sizes of the alpine marmot ensured their survival following the end of the Pleistocene. These adaptations were so effective that it still survives today in high-altitude regions of Europe. We hope that this short film helped you understand the great survival mechanisms of Ice Age creatures. Maybe this will help you decide how best to survive the next Ice Age. Thank you for watching.